I have this weird paradox. I think I'm a bit deluded when I think about what I'm capable of. So, although 90 minutes is probably realistic, I can't help but think I can go even faster. And I'm going to try and go as fast as I can. And we'll see what that means. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means or what time I can get, but I just want to make sure I get the best time I can. I'm Jonathan Melville. I'm a PhD student at Anglo-Ruskin University. I'm currently researching recreational marathon runners, and I run a company called Breakaway Coaching Analytics, where I work with endurance athletes and I design their training programs and help them achieve their goals of their events. So ever since I was young, I've always had this weird desire to just push myself just to the point where I feel like I'm just going to collapse.
Always saw things in a certain way and ran with it. He was kind of that unstoppable force, you know. Some of the most enjoyable parts of growing up with Jonathan was the times we would go and play tennis, and we would just be there for like 4, maybe even 5 hours at a time if it went down to the wire. If I lost at a game of tennis, I'd probably throw my racket at him and try and kill him. But also at the same time, Jonathan was such a bad loser as well that I kind of felt like stepping onto court. Either he wins or I'm going to die that day. That's pretty much how it's going to go.
For me, it's a question of, could you have gone a tiny bit further? And it's like, you probably could have. And it's like, until the answer to that question is, I couldn't have gone any further, you haven't done your best.
When he has something into his mind, he's gonna go all the way through until he can accomplish that. Doesn't matter how he's feeling, doesn't matter what he's going through, he's gonna go all the way.
Gonna keep going until I drop, or I'm not gonna do it at all. I'm either 1000% or nothing. That's how I do things. I'd say the hardest part is actually maybe the mental side to all of this, because obviously there are days you don't want to train, particularly when it's raining or cold, or even if you haven't washed your training kit in 2 weeks and you have to put wet, smelly training kit on to go outside. And days like that, you don't want to do it, but you have to train at the end of the day, otherwise what's the point? You're not going to hit your target time and you're going to let people down and look like a fool, and I don't really want to look like that. So I would say trying to be consistent every day is the hard part, but that's what makes it work, I think. That's what makes the accomplishment so good, is all the work that you put into it.
You okay?
Fastest 5K, I did a 5K in 1855. I did a 5K in 1855. And I did my fastest...
What did you do? What happened? What did you eat today?
The £1 meal. Before I came to Cambridge, my dad kind of said to me, "You never know, son, you might meet someone." And I was like, "Okay, Dad, sure, maybe. I won't, but maybe, we'll see." And then 3 days into starting, I went to the running group, and Ana was the host of the group, and that's how I met her.
I'm also a sport activator at the jogging group here at ARU. It was when this idea of the documentary started, and I was not seeing the possibility of doing it. And I thought he could be like the perfect one, with the fact that he was gonna just train for the health. Could you be interested in doing a documentary about you? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then it was when we were having the meetings, when we were discussing the things, when we kind of started to spend more time together, and more time and more time.
This one and this one are the same cut.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. I was surprised that you wanted to do
Just says that, camera
What are
lady.
your impressions?
My impressions. You did well though. Shots look great.
It was kind of scary, to be honest. If something goes wrong to the documentary, it's gonna go down. I don't regret doing anything that I did. Maybe it was not like the smartest idea from my part, but at the end, it turned out pretty well, I would say.
God. Director gets tough with actor.
So obviously Ana is the director of this documentary. She's
Ooh,
also my
1855.
girlfriend and has been very supportive in helping me train. But she's also a keen runner herself. In fact, she wanted to do the Cambridge Half Marathon herself. But unfortunately, as a result of the documentary, she kind of sacrificed it so she could focus on getting good footage essentially of me in the race. And because of that, she's not been able to race, which has obviously been a big sacrifice for her.
At the beginning, I imagined that this documentary was going to end up with both of us crossing the finish line, and it ended up just being one at the end. But gosh, I didn't know what I was getting myself into when this idea first came into my mind.
I heard a small voice coming from your direction.
Telling you to slow down. I didn't want you to die in this.
But it's worth it. It's worth it.
And because I kind of knew that she would do this quite a while ago, and I knew that this was obviously an important documentary to her, at the beginning of the year, I wasn't particularly motivated. In fact, I couldn't be bothered to train. I was extremely tired. I had had no rest over the Christmas period.
To start being consistent with training now, or the sub 90-minute target might not happen. So,
but I said to myself, okay, I might not want to do it, but there's someone who needs me to do it, and someone that can't do the race themselves. So you better make sure you get out of bed and train, because this isn't really about you, it's about someone else. So I made sure I put the hours in. Even when I couldn't be bothered, I made sure I got myself out of bed and put my clothes on and train, because someone's making a big sacrifice here, and I need to repay that with putting in the work and hitting the target time. So that's what I'm doing.